to learn about Aurora. What is Aurora? What are the different properties of Aurora? And what are its basics, replication, backups, and Aurora serverless? Now, we have learned about RDS. What is RDS? In a simple way, it's a database in the cloud provided by Amazon, managed by them, right? So, they have six flavors of RDS, starting with MySQL, MySQL Server, Oracle Database, MariaDB, okay, Postgres, and final it's Aurora. So what is Aurora? Aurora is a serverless. Aurora is a Amazon proprietary database. It's a chargeable database which is designed by Amazon, and they do promote that whenever they get the chance. So here we are going to just learn about the properties. What is the different property? How Aurora is different from any other RDS machine, right? So Aurora. So Aurora database is been designed on top of MySQL and Postgres SQL database. So they have taken SQL and SQL and Postgres database, which is open source database available in the market, and they have enhanced that database. Okay, so they have enhanced both the databases. So Amazon Aurora is a MySQL and Postgres compatible relational database engine that combines the speed and availability of high-end commercial database with simplicity and cost-effective of an open source database. So they have taken these two open source database, they have enhanced that, they have increased the performance, they have reduced the cost, and selling that in on the name of Aurora. According to Amazon, Aurora provide up to 5 times better performance than MySQL and up to 3 times better performance than Postgres database at much lower price point while delivering the similar performance and availability. Amazon RDS manages your Aurora databases, handling time consuming tasks such as provisioning, patching, backups, recovery, failure detection, and repair. You just simply pay monthly charges for each Aurora database instance you use. Okay, so this is a quite introduction about Aurora. So what are the basic things of Aurora? We have to understand that. So Aurora starts with 10 GB of storage and it scales incrementally of 10 GB up to 64 GB, terabyte, sorry, 64 terabyte. So it's auto scaling. So means the one of the issue which is faced by industry while using a database is that the storage underlying their databases get over get full over the time, right? So you have a limited storage where you will keep the data inside your database. So over the time this database will get full or the storage will get full, so you have to replace or you have to add additional storage capacity. So similar to your RDS, in even your RDS machines, the capacities are auto incremental. In Aurora, it is incremental at the space of 10 GB and it will go up to 64 terabyte. So you don't have to worry about checking the storage capacity again and again. Amazon will automatically make sure that you will not end up having a disk issue or full disk issue error. Compute resource can scale up to 32 CPU and 244 GB of memory. Okay, so even the RAM and CPU will automatically scale up as per the requirement. Now this is one of the important point to remember about your Aurora instance. So Aurora instance keep two copy of your data in a contain each availability zone. Okay, so Amazon Aurora keeps your data in two availability in two copy of the data in each availability zone. With minimum three availability zone, there will be six copy of your data. So you are creating only one Aurora instance in one availability zone, but Amazon internally creates six copy of your data. So that makes your database or that makes your data more available and more secure. In other RDS, only one copy is saved. In other RDS, only one copy of the data is preserved in a single availability zone. But in Amazon Aurora, Amazon replicates your data into multiple availability zone with two copies of data in each availability zone. So in that case, total six copy of your data is available. Scaling of Aurora. So Aurora is designed to transparently handle the loss of up to two copy of your data without affecting database write availability and up to three copy without affecting read availability. So if you lose, let's say one availability zone, you know we have three availability zone in Amazon, right? All are in sync. So Aurora keeps two copy of your data in three availability zone, and if one availability zone goes down, still there will be no impact on your Aurora database. It will work smoothly. Okay, and even if second availability zone goes down, it's a very rare chances, but still Aurora will perform decently. It will not impact the performance of your database. Aurora is also self-healing. What do you mean by self-healing? So the data block and the disk are continuously scanned for any type of errors and it repair automatically. So let's say you have stored some data and on a physical hard disk, it seems that the hard disk is getting corrupted. Okay, so it keeps on checking the disk and the data storage. Uh, uh, it keep on checking what is the health of your data. If it's find that your data health is not up to the mark or by doing some running some algorithms, running some scan checks, and if it is finding that that particular block, that particular segment is not uh, giving the right response, then it will be deleted and replaced by another copy of your data. So basically, it's keep on checking any file corruption is there or not. In your local system, you might have seen many times the older files might get corrupted. So it keeps on checking the file, are the files are proper or not, or the data which you are storing on Aurora is up to the given threshold or it's not corrupted. If it's find that the files are getting corrupted or there is some problem, then it will be deleted and replaced by the good data. So the data which is available in different availability zone. That's a self healing. So you will not lose your data anytime. Now remember we while learning read replica yesterday, I told you that Aurora has a different type of read replica. It has a different architect how it creates read replica. So can in Aurora you can create up to 15 read replicas. Okay. So MySQL read replicas currently 5, Postgres 1. Okay, so if you're creating a MySQL database, you can create only 5 read replicas, right? But in Aurora, you can go up to 15 read replica. So this is a comparison between MySQL and Aurora database. In Aurora, you can go up to 15 read replica. MySQL database, it is 5. Synchronization between read replicas. So it is asynchronous again, but it is in millisecond. In MySQL, it is in second. Impact on performance while creating or while copying the data. So there is very less impact on your primary database while copying the data to read replica. So the stress, the load while copying the data to read replica is low in Aurora. Okay. Now read replicas location are within the region. It is not cross region. In Aurora, they are not going cross region. Now, can you use read replica for failovers? So in Aurora, yes. In MySQL, you can do that after you promoting it. But in Aurora, it is fast. Automatic failovers. Now remember we talk about multi-z. Is multi-z and read replica are same? Answer is no. Multi-z and read replica are not same. So you cannot use read replica to for failovers. So if your primary goes down, your read replica will not act as a primary instance or as a secondary instance. But in Aurora, read replica will act as a backup system or standby system as well. Okay. So backup and restoration similar to what we have learned about RDS machines, or till now we have talked about RDS backups in many scenarios. So automatic backups are always enabled in Aurora DB. Backups do not impact data performance. That's one of the important thing. You can take snapshots with Aurora. This does not impact the performance again. So snapshot means manual backup. You can take a manual backup again. You can share Aurora instance with other AWS account. So if you're taking a snapshot, if you're taking backups, you can share the backup to different account, different uh, organization. So here you might have multiple account in your company, or you want to you have created an Aurora instance in your account and you want to share this Aurora uh, data with your client. So the client might have different account. So you can share the snapshots. Aurora automatically maintains 6 copy of your data across 3 zones and will automatically attempt to recover your database in a healthy zone with no data loss. So this is important. That's why Amazon in the market, even people are do consider Aurora because of this one of the property where your data is almost secure. It keeps 6 copy of your data. Any question, Talia, about the property of Aurora? So we have to learn about hmm, hmm. Database will be there. Yeah, basically, underlying storage is again managed by Amazon, right? So we are not bothered about where the storage is there and where the actually the data means the EBS volume we are talking about, right? So if your one of the volume is gone down or the data where the underlying hardware on which the data was stored is goes down, so it will try to create that. And if your database goes down because your data is available in another availability zone, it will create a new copy of that immediately. So it is again completely managed by Amazon. We don't have to worry about how it is done. The property we have to learn. So, but by default, Aurora gives you the more flexibility or less worry about how your database is or how the data is doing. You just have to worry about the usage, how to use the database. Okay, so that's what Amazon keeps the six copy of your data. So six copy of your data, just like your S3 keeps your data into multi-quality zone. Similar to that, Aurora also keeps the data. Underline how they are maintaining, what they are doing. They're not again. It's a proprietary, right? So they are not going to share how they are doing. Yeah. So so similar. Let's go to RDS in Aurora. You can see MySQL compatibility and Postgres compatibility. So if you click on MySQL compatibility, again it's not in free tier. Okay, so you can select and you can see the system. It's a very huge system. It is a chargeable database. Amazon do take charges of your it's a licensed database, you can say, on a very nutshell. You know, even if you click on dev environment, you will be getting charged. So don't create Aurora database as you are in free tier, you will getting charged. But it has a different property. Okay, so template, dev template, version of MySQL, give the name, password, right? Then there are some configuration like how effective you want, optimize your disk. Then this is your hardware, on which hardware you want to run, basically CPU and RAM. You can see multi-z deployment recommended for scaling purpose. Again, public access, private access, security group, VPC. Okay, monitoring availability, and in additional similar. So all the things are similar, only it is the engine is designed and managed by Amazon. Now one thing was there. Hmm. One more type of Aurora. So till now here you have to select the data type of underlying hardware, right? How much RAM, how much CPU you have to select, right? Minimum is two CPU and 16 GB RAM, right? Now there are some scenarios where I don't want to maintain this date server. I don't want to give 16 GB RAM. What if there is some provision that the underlying hardware scale up automatically as per the traffic, as per the performance requirement, and it scale down to zero? Again, the hardware I'm talking about. So RAM and CPU. So minimum, let's say one CPU, one RAM, 1 GB RAM. But as the system finds the it require more CPU, more RAM, it should be acclimating that, and it should scale up automatically. Now I will just show you why. So take example, this is your RAM. Tell me in general, how are you utilizing 100% of your RAM? Generally you are utilizing like 30 to 40% of your RAM, right? You're not utilizing 100% of your RAM. Most of the time the remaining will be in unused state. But when the traffic increases, it might go to 100%. What will happen if you reach 100% utilization of your RAM? Will it add, will give you the more capacity? So over time, if you are finding that your traffic or your load on your system has increased, so what you will do? you will increase the underlying hardware, that is from 16 GB you will convert to 32 GB, right? So you will add more RAM, but I'm talking you will add, not Amazon, right? Agree? But after adding 30 to 16 GB more, so total you have 32 GB. Now total utilization is something like this. This is 100%, or let's say 50-50%. So you are wasting remaining 30 to 32 GB. You're getting my point? अगर आपके पास 32 GB की 16 GB रैम है, वो अगर ओवरलोड हो रही है, so you add a more 16 GB. But after 16 GB you find out after total 32 GB you are just using somewhat combined 25 GB. You are still wasting 7 to 8 GB of RAM, but you are still paying for that amount, right? So now Amazon came up with a new new uh, what do you call, technology or new concept, where you don't have to pre-configure. You don't have to pre-configure the RAM. You just have to give the minimum capacity, that is 1 GB, and you have to give the maximum configuration, that is, let's say 64 GB. So now Amazon will increase or decrease your RAM capacity according to your use case. So if your system required 1 GB, it will allocate 1 GB. If your system is asking, or the your database is asking for, let's say, 5 GB, because the traffic has increased, so it will provide 5 GB of RAM. You are not doing anything. According to the traffic, according to the workload, according to the overwhelming of the CPU and the RAM, it will increase the RAM and CPU. It is called, this concept is called serverless. We will talk about serverless lambdas. So what is serverless technology? Initially we learn about EC2 machine, right? In EC2 the underlying hardware is constant, but I don't want to maintain underlying hardware. I don't want to give the specification of underlying hardware. I will give the minimum capacity, I will give the maximum capacity. It should scale between that. So here I have defined minimum. So as per the requirement, it will my RAM will increase and decrease as per the CPU load or workload. It is, this concept is called serverless, and we will learn about serverless a little more in detail in last, in our final session. So here Amazon Aurora is also coming with a serverless feature, where you don't have to provide the underlying hardware. Amazon will take care of it. So Amazon Aurora is an on-demand auto scaling configuration for MySQL compatible and Postgres compatible edition of Aurora. With Aurora Serverless DB, cluster automatically startups, shutdowns, scale capacity up and down based on the application needs. So as per the application need, as per the usage, the cluster, the database will scale up and down. Not the storage I'm talking about. I'm talking about the RAM and CPU. Aurora Serverless provides a relatively simple, cost-effective option for infrequent, intermediate, and unpredictable workloads. So industries are moving to serverless. Industries are moving towards serverless. Okay. So in your console, if you click on show the version of serverless, here okay. Yeah. Here you can see DB instance, right? You can go with the serverless option. Right now you are selecting your uh, R family with a given capacity 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, and so on. But I don't want to define the underlying hardware. Let Amazon decide by its own. I'm not deciding. On the basis of workload, on the basis of traffic and demand, the underlying hardware, that is RAM and CPU, should automatically scale up and scale down. So that's called serverless. So if demand is high, it will add more CPU and RAM. If demand is less, it will reduce the RAM and CPU. So database capacity is measured by Aurora in one uh, Aurora capacity unit, that is ACU, that is 2 GB. So minimum ACU, that is 4 GB. So you can just define the minimum capacity, that is zero point 0.5, I think, yeah, zero point 0.5 to 128 ACU, that will be 1 GB to 256 GB. Okay, up to 256 GB you can define. Yes. Hmm. 256 GB. So this is a minimum capacity you can go with, zero point 0.5, and maximum is up to 256, that will be 256 GB, that will be 128. So I have to just provide the minimum capacity and maximum capacity, right? So I will define 10, so 20 GB, or to be ground figure 16. So starting with 1 GB up to 32 GB, I my system can go. So here we are defining a range. So as per the load, Amazon will add or remove the underlying cap hardware, or it will provide the RAM and CPU. How it is doing, we are not aware, but it is serverless. So you are paying for only for the CPU and RAM when you are using them. If you are using 2 GB, you have to pay for 2 GB. If you are using 32 GB, have to pay for 32 GB. If you are not using at all, so it will be coming down to zero point 0.5 GB. Oh, sorry, 1 GB. So that's the benefit of serverless. You are only pay for the capacity which you are actually using, not you have provisioned. समझ आया? अगर मैं इसको सर्वलेस नहीं बोलता, मैं इसको ये बोलता हूँ कि मुझे 4 GB चाहिए, अब मैं 4 GB यूज़ करूँ नहीं करूँ, और 32 GB रैम यूज़ हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, आई हैव टू पे कंप्लीट amount for the given hardware, right? Serverless का benefit है pay as per use, on demand. Clear? Any question? Hmm. No. Agree. Agree. So that's give you the flexibility, and it over time. Uh, to be honest, industry is moving towards this funda, or this technology, or this logic, where they don't want to define underlying hardware. Many companies are moving to serverless technologies, not only for Aurora, for other services as well. Yeah. हाँ, right. Both for Amazon as well as for your company. But I'm I am worried about my saving, right? So serverless में saving बहुत ज़्यादा होता है generally. In many cases, serverless has given a lot of saving to the company. In some cases, it's a not recommended it, where you know that workload is because it take a little time to scale up, right? So if you require more flexibility, means you don't want to wait, or you want a spiky thing जहाँ पे immediately आपको system चाहिए, तो उस केस में आप प्री डिफाइन करके रखो. You don't want to wait कि मेरे को थोड़ा सा स्केल अप स्केल डाउन के लिए का है. You take a little small time to scale up, right? So yeah, apart from that, serverless is a very uh, best thing coming in the market. Okay, right. It's so it, right. So what is the exam tips if you're going for exam interview? Two copies of your data are contained in each LD zone with minimum three LD zone. So total six copy of your data is stored with Amazon. You can create a manual backups and you can share with different people, different account. Amazon has three type of replicas available. Sorry, there are three replica available. So Aurora replicas, they are, you can go up to 15 times. You can create up to 15 replica in Aurora. Replica can be used as failovers. So they are used as multi-Z. So in Aurora, multi-Z and replica are combined together. So replica act as a failover in Aurora, only in Aurora, not in other RDS. Other RDS, replica and multi-Z are different entities. They are different machines. Aurora has automatic backups turned on by default. You can take snapshots of Aurora. Use Aurora Serverless if you want simple, cost-effective option for infrequent, intermediate, and unpredictable workload. Okay, the most important is cost-effective. So this is the theory of Aurora. Again, it's a MySQL compatibility. If you know MySQL, you can easily work on Aurora. And Amazon do promote their own proprietary database. Okay. In market there are so many companies which are adopting Aurora. Now it all depend on the architect and their requirement. Mhm. So DynamoDB, okay, let me cover DynamoDB a little. Now, what is DynamoDB? We have talked about a little bit about a DynamoDB. Now, how many of you remember what is DynamoDB?